In today's lesson, you're going to learn about correcting errors on your credit report. Although it is very important to identify all of the errors, we aren't going to spend time disputing every single one that you find. We don't want to overwhelm the credit bureaus with letters, and we aren't going to waste your time with busy work. Instead, we're going to focus on what we describe as high priority errors. Items that are causing your score to drop 10, 15, 20 or more points. According to a recent 60-minute special, 40 million Americans have mistakes on their credit reports. But with that said, only high priority errors are worth correcting. The first thing you need to do is get a copy of your credit report and identify these errors. It's very important that you have a copy from each of the 3 credit bureaus: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. The reason for this is there may be errors showing on one report, but not on another. If you focus on just one report, you may be missing some very important errors. If you don't already have a Tri-Bureau credit report, download the action guide below this video to find out where we recommend you get one from. There are 6 types of mistakes to focus on. Number 1, post-bankruptcy discharge violations. This is when there's an item that was included in your bankruptcy, but it's not being reported correctly. Number 2, duplicate derogatory notices. Number 3, incorrect personal information. Number 4, mistakes in your account information. Number 5, mistakes in your payment history. And number 6, information that doesn't belong to you. Let's go through them one at a time. And keep in mind, below this video there are different letter templates that you can use when correcting each of these types of errors. We will refer to these templates throughout this lesson. Number 1, post-bankruptcy discharge violations. If a debt that was included in your bankruptcy was not updated or corrected after your bankruptcy discharged, you need to get this fixed as soon as possible. I found if something is not fixed within 30 to 45 days after a bankruptcy is discharged, the likelihood of it getting fixed is very low. I recommend you use Template 1 when disputing these types of errors. Send a copy of your discharge papers along with your credit report to the creditor and send it certified mailed. Do not dispute this online. When you do, you waive certain rights which you will need in the event the error is not fixed. Once you send the letter, wait 45 days and then review your credit report again. If the errors are not fixed, you have a case for a possible lawsuit. If your bankruptcy attorney does not handle these types of lawsuits, email us at support@720creditscore.com and we will put you in touch with an attorney who does. Let's move on to mistake number 2, duplicate derogatory notices. Among the most common and dangerous errors that people find are duplicate collection notices. A duplicate collection notice doubles the harm already caused by a single collection notice. This mistake occurs when your account is sold by one collection company to another. Sometimes, both collection companies continue to report the account as active. If one of your accounts transfers from one collection company to another, your credit report should list the original collection company as having sold or transferred the account. If both companies, old and new, are reporting the account as active, your credit score will react as though you have 2 collection accounts. Collection accounts get sold a lot, so you could have the same collection account being actively listed on your credit report 3 or 4 times. Correct this by sending a letter, using Template 2, to alert the collection bureaus of the mistake. Let's move on to mistake number 3, incorrect personal information. Errors such as an old address or an incorrect employer are harmless, and in most cases you can ignore them. But some mistakes in your personal information indicate that you are a victim of identity theft. Use Template 3 to immediately request a correction to your credit report if you see someone else's social security number or name on your report. You should also use this template if you see a birth date other than your own, a misspelling in your name, a typo in your social security number, or a middle initial that does not belong to you. Any of these mistakes in your personal information could be warning signs that you are a victim of identity theft, or that your report has been merged with somebody else's. Let's discuss mistake number 4, mistakes in your account information. These mistakes include erroneously listed credit limits for your credit cards. In another lesson, I explain how a low credit limit will cause your utilization rate, which is the percentage of your balance to credit limit, to increase, which can drop your credit score by 20 to 30 points per credit card. Use Templates 4 and 5 to correct erroneously listed credit limits. Don't worry if the account numbers listed are missing or incorrect, as this does not impact your credit score. Mistake number 5, mistakes in your payment history. If your credit report shows a mistake in your payment history, such as a late payment you do not remember making, use template 6 to correct the mistake. Now, here's where a lot of people get into trouble. Some people decide to dispute every single late payment on their credit report, even if the information is valid. I do not recommend doing this. The credit bureaus don't have time to investigate disputes they consider frivolous. So if you dispute everything, including valid information, they will stop investigating your claims. And you might have a hard time correcting information that is erroneous. When you do dispute erroneous information, be sure to send as much documentation supporting your claim as possible so that your dispute isn't tagged as frivolous. Here's the last mistake. Mistake number 6. Information that doesn't belong to you. You should be very concerned if you see accounts that aren't yours, especially if they happen to be collection notices or strange social security numbers. These mistakes can be red flags of identity theft and should be cleared up as soon as possible. Template 7 will help you correct these errors, but your first step should be to call the creditor and the credit bureaus to get more information. If you're a victim of identity theft, you need to gather as much information as soon as possible and alert the credit bureaus immediately. If you realize you are a victim of identity theft, download the brochure below this video, which will explain what steps you should take. One last thing. Correcting errors isn't easy. When you send a letter to the credit bureaus or call their information lines, there's a good chance that your request is going to be sent into the Bermuda Triangle. The bureaus are supposed to investigate reasonable disputes. For now, know that you should keep a paper trail of everything, follow up within 45 days if a request is ignored, and contact both the lender and the credit bureaus involved in the mistake. For instance, if the credit limit on your visa is being reported incorrectly, contact the credit bureaus and the credit card company and ask for the mistake to be corrected. Okay, so here's your homework for today. Number 1, review your credit report and look for errors. Number 2, correct high priority errors using the templates under this video. Remember, don't waste your valuable time trying to correct every single mistake on your credit report. When correcting mistakes, start with high priority errors that happened in the last 2 years, and then move on to correcting errors that happened in the last 2 to 4 years. Onward to 720.